Gerald, come here. We were just looking for some cancer cures, man. It isn't on YouTube. I've been checking for quite a while now. Of course, there are lots of things happening. They were talking about proteins and destroying the cancer cells. All sorts of things here. They talk about activating the immune system on it, which could be done with if you search a cancer cell, it will release a human hormone which will release the antibody that fights off the cancer cell. You could possibly take that enzyme and inject it by the cancer, and then it will get detected by the immune system. Possible cure. I was talking to the Watson robot, the awesome robot, by the way, the awesome human superhuman robot. That's you could microsurgery. So with microscopes you could get every single cell out of there, with robotic arms of course, and blood filtering is also one. But the cure that I just figured out just a little while ago, I hope it's recorded right. So let's do it again because I've got my finger on the mic again. So activating the immune system by searching another cancer patient and seeing which enzyme gets released when cancer appears, and redoing that with the other human in its injecting that enzyme and see if that works, because I think most human bodies work with the same enzymes, but I'm not a doctor or a scientist that knows a lot about it. Other cure would be a microsurgeon robot, so and it would use a microscope to get every single cancer cell out of there. They were talking about proteins, destroying cancers with proteins and other shit, but it's all destructive. So my other cure was to get the antibody that kills the cancer cells, to let them grow outside the body, and then inject them into the cancer cell, and then destroy the cancer that way. So you get something that's more immune, and you get that certain type of cancer in there. You wait till the immune reaction response, possibly more on animals, and see if it works, of course, which is sad for the animal, but you know, he was gonna die in the wild anyway. So, yeah, that's not good. People are gonna hate on this comment, by the way, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So yeah, we gotta test it on something, so animals will be the offshore course choice instead of humans. And so the cure is to get the cancer cell reaction. So when the body auto detects it and destroys it, that reaction, you want to trigger that reaction. That's what you want to trigger. But if it doesn't trigger on its own with the enzyme or whatever it's called that gets released into the immune system to deal with it, you could also grow it outside of the lab. The enzyme or immune or protein that kills the cancer, you could grow it outside the body and inject it into the tumor, which could also be possible. But it could also cure blood cancer, which is like the worst form of it because it gets everywhere, man. So yeah, we're just gonna scroll around, see some other cures. Let's see, treatment for lung cancer. That's too much of a movie. How the immune system fights cancer. Let's look at this movie, by the way. So we're not gonna talk, we're gonna watch a little movie.
Immunotherapy is an exciting area of cancer research that is changing the way we think about cancer treatment. Immunotherapy works by using the body's immune system to fight cancer. The immune system is a complex network of organs, tissues, and cells, and the substances they make. One of the purposes of the immune system is to rid the body of germs, such as bacteria, and abnormal cells, such as cancer cells. Immunotherapy uses different ways to boost the immune system to do a better job of killing cancer cells. This video describes 3 types of immunotherapy that are used to treat cancer: non-specific immune stimulation, T-cell transfer therapy, and immune checkpoint inhibitors. Non-specific immune stimulation is a type of immunotherapy that stimulates a patient's immune response in a general way. In nonspecific immune stimulation, drugs or other substances are used to increase the overall immune response, which can help kill cancer cells. For example, some patients who have had surgery to remove bladder cancer may also be treated with a substance called BCG. When BCG is put into the bladder, it can cause a nonspecific immune response that kills cancer cells that remain in the bladder after surgery. This may keep the cancer from getting worse or coming back. T-cell transfer therapy is another type of immunotherapy. T-cells are a type of immune cell and are powerful weapons the immune system uses to fight cancer. For T-cell transfer therapy, T-cells are taken from a patient and changed in the laboratory to make them better able to target the patient's cancer cells and kill them. Millions of copies of these specially changed T-cells are then grown in the laboratory and given back to the patient to fight the cancer. Immune checkpoint inhibitors are a third type of immunotherapy. Immune checkpoints on cell surfaces help control an immune response. Usually immune checkpoints keep T-cells inactive, that is, in an off state, until they're needed. This keeps the T-cells from harming normal cells. Cancer cells can take advantage of these checkpoints to switch T-cells off. This keeps the cancer cells from being killed. Immune checkpoint inhibitors are drugs that block the checkpoints. This frees the T-cells to attack the cancer. These three types of immunotherapy are effective ways to treat cancer, but they don't work for every patient and can cause serious side effects. Researchers supported by the National Cancer Institute are working to learn more about how the immune system works to fight cancer. By studying this, researchers can learn how to improve immunotherapy for all patients. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh my god, did you see the movie? Dude, awesome. All kinds of cures, but they don't quite work. So, what's the all-curing cancer cure? I think it's triggering the immune system to fight the cancer. So, by releasing that enzyme, they just talked about it, man. So the enzyme that triggers the immune cell response is a connecting rod which signals the cell to attack or not attack. So how do you trigger that? You could possibly, so they do it with that, but you kill a whole bunch of cells that are living. But it could also trigger a rampage, which just gets into your blood and kills all kinds of cells. So that's not good. So you would dose it really small. So real small. The cure with the little blockers that block the little feet that connect to the killer cell. So you would dose it really small and really precise. So that would be the absolute option. So you can make a microscope that's on a needle, so you can actually see that little cell. And so you can exactly detect where the cancer is and where the cancer isn't. And that will be the tool to do it, I think. That's my new invention, by the way. It's patented, eppie design patented, free to use for everybody. I patented all cures that I made. So they will all be free to use for everybody. But the cool thing is, you know, the immune system response usually does a really good job. So you want to trigger the immune system. I think that's the key to the problem. Now, so how do you trigger that immune system? I'm gonna do some more research on this because I'm really interested to cure cancer. So I think my solution of actually triggering the immune system that I thought of myself, but it's already on the internet, is a good thing, man. I'm glad I thought about it. You know, other people have thought about it exactly the same thing 2 years ago, maybe even earlier. So it's pretty good that it already exists because more research is done. I'm really glad to watch that movie because now I know for a fact that you can grow things in the lab in a large scale and also change the particles in the lab, the cells. So that's pretty cool information, man. I love it. Nice to see that movie. I hope you learned something from that movie. Shout out to the people that made the movie, Cancer Institute or something. Sounds pretty funny in my voice because I used to always, we call it curse with cancer, so it sounds funny to me. It ain't funny, but it sounds funny to me. So yeah, I hope people have something on my cancer cure. So I'm gonna sum it up. You should either trigger the response on the cancer cell, so trigger the response on that, and also you should possibly, oh, that cure that they have with the little enzyme that triggered to get all the cells in there that look for cancer. That would be awesome. You should totally trigger that. Every single time someone has cancer, you should totally trigger that. The enzyme that gets released in the immune system that triggers all kinds of cells, all the killer cells, to go to that location. If you trigger that, they will find the cancer. Then you use that little method to detect the cancer, to block the little receptors to kill the cancer. Really precise. Just not the bunch of fluid, but really precise on there. And that will be a nanobot surgery with a microscope. You could do it so precise. A nice algorithm on there. First of all, you make the point of the microscope. You make it a 3D camera, a full surrounding camera, so you can actually see what you're doing, the whole entire body. You also put another one in there which moves cells apart or something like that. I'm gonna look into it, gonna make a new design for it. So I think the immune system is the key to curing cancer. That's the whole point of this video. So yeah, I didn't sum it up properly. I hope you understand something of this video. If you don't, sorry man, I'm gonna make a new video of it. Just wanted to share you with it. So here's some more research results. So I think you could inject the fighting cancer cells, but they already had that. They already had it. They already existed, man. In this movie right here. This movie right here, right?
There are three main treatments for lung cancer: surgery, radiotherapy, and chemotherapy.
There are only 3, and that's 4 years ago. So yeah, that's pretty awesome to see. So that's the last bit of it. I'm gonna upload this video, mom. See you soon. I hope I helped the world.